the final tonight. And the best team in baseball wins it all in 2018.
For the first hit. Rutschman into right field. Down the line. A fair ball. Adley will turn first. Head for second. He's going to turn second. Go for third. Rutschman into third base standing. An extra base hit. His first hit in the major leagues. Welcome to the...
Those are long pitch innings, I think. Blister, that's what you wanted to make sure.
Here's a high fly ball into right. Back is Betts on the move. On the track. He's got catch by Mookie Betts.
Now, Clifford looking for a clean inning here in the seventh. Hit well out to right center field. Jones still on the move, running out of room, and he makes it.
Hello everyone and welcome back to Beyond the Ballpark. As always, I'm your host Patrick Moran. No Brennan today. He was unavailable middle of the week. He had a baseball tournament. Or we were supposed to record over the weekend, but he had to play in a baseball tournament. So he will not be with us. He should be back soon. We will actually have a in-person episode soon with a special guest. So stay tuned for that. Today I'm going to bring you my City Connect rankings. I've ranked all the City Connects we've seen so far. This does not include the A's or the Yankees because obviously those two teams do not have City Connects. It is 20. There were 28 teams that had a City Connect, so I went 28-1 on my list. It is my official list as of August 8th, 2024, and I'll just be bringing you guys this list solo. We should have some big guests though. Like I said, I'll bring one on before I leave for a trip. Brandon will be on the same trip. We have a family trip. And then we'll have a very cool in-person guest, like I said before. So stay tuned for that. But I think without further ado, let's get straight into the City Connect rankings. So at 28, we'll go from the bottom up. We'll go 28-1. And at 28, I have the Philadelphia Phillies. I think the Phillies did not do a good job with their City Connect, quite frankly. It is not a good City Connect whatsoever. It's blue. Apparently, it has to do with the Philadelphia flag. That was the inspiration for the color scheme, which I thought was very interesting. It's just not a good jersey. I'm sorry. It doesn't look good. The font looks very messed up. It actually was trying to tie into a topic that I really like of, like the whole history thing, and they have Independence Hall and all that cool stuff in Philadelphia, Liberty Bell. But when you put it together as a jersey, it just doesn't. It's not good, and I can't really overemphasize that. It's the worst in my opinion. So, Philadelphia Phillies take the crown for me as the worst City Connect jersey. And I'm sorry to Phillies fans. Philly is a decent city. I think Pittsburgh's better, but that's a story for another day. Philly, I had a good time in Philly when I went. Just not a good City Connect. And at 27. I think probably the no surprise is the Los Angeles Dodgers. The Los Angeles Dodgers, I'm ranking the new one. It's a new cream colored one rather than the royal blue one with the Los Dodgers. This one's the one that looks like a Pop-Tart. It's not good. It's another one that's not good. It's not Philly bad, but I honestly might swap those two. Those are pretty interchangeable for me. The Dodgers just didn't, on both of them, quite frankly, they did not execute that well. Like I said, the current one looks like a Pop-Tart, which is really not where it's at. The number is up in a corner. I believe it's in the top left corner of the jersey, which is really interesting. And then if you wear a single-digit number, they do the 0 and then the single digit. It's really weird and just, it was, again, not well executed, so I'm going to put the Dodgers arguably last. I might honestly reevaluate. Phillies might be the second worst, and I think that's probably the permanent change that I'll make at the end of this. At number 26, I have the Colorado Rockies. Rockies, it's more of the overall look because they did have the green pants with the jersey, which was not a good look. They did switch over to white pants, but the Colorado one, it's a hard sell. I mean, it's just I like the mountains. The mountain tie-in makes sense, but unfortunately, just the whole jersey, the rest of the jersey being green, you have the green for the mountains, and then it just runs down the rest, and then at one point it ran down into the pants. Not great. I didn't like it personally. I know there are some people that like it, but I don't. You have the white sleeves too, just kind of an awkward look. Not totally on that. So, Colorado Rockies coming in at number 26. Pittsburgh Pirates coming in at number 25. Pirates, I really like Pittsburgh as a city, aside from the Steelers, but that's a me problem because I'm a Ravens fan. The Pittsburgh one's just not great. It's just not doing it for me. The PGH is pretty boring across the front. It looks like a Minecraft font if you play Minecraft. The hat is definitely out there too with the PGH. It's yellow. Just very interesting. It's a tie-in to the steel industry, which is obviously a very big part of Pittsburgh, and I certainly saw that. That's their steel city. So that is something that's very close to them. I'll just backtrack really quick. Colorado, it has the Rocky Mountain tie-in, and then the Dodgers have, apparently it's like Hollywood and like pursuing your dreams in LA. That's the backstory behind that. I already explained the Phillies one. I'll try and do that for the rest of the episode. But the Pirates one, it's really boring. The font is not great. It's got little detail in it, but overall it just doesn't really do it for me. It's not a great look. And I'm not as big of a fan of yellow jerseys either, so that's another tough sell for me. Number 24 will be the San Francisco Giants. So they're leaning in to the whole Golden Gate Bridge and the fog. Apparently it's foggy in San Francisco. I don't know the full story there. I've never been to San Francisco. But these ones, they're very just boring again. Like the fog, I get what they're trying to do with the fog, but unfortunately it does take away from the orange jersey. It's an all-white jersey. It has the G, the San Francisco Giants G, and then it has a Golden Gate Bridge on the sleeves, and that's a nice touch. But they just included the white as fog, and it really does, I think, take away from the color that's there. So unfortunately, while I do understand the concept and I do understand the aim, it did not. It just doesn't look good on a jersey, and it just puts even more white on the jersey. So that's why I have the Giants coming in at number 24. Number 23 is going to be the Texas Rangers. So the Texas Rangers is another really boring one. It has TX in like a Texas font. I don't even know what you call it. It's like a Texas font on the right side of the jersey, and then all it has is the number on the back. So there's really little or nothing going on here on this jersey visually. I don't even remember the tie-in. It's like something about Texas and all that jazz. I remember reading it when it came out, but unfortunately I do not remember it at this time. It's really bland. The hat's good, I will say that. The navy blue pants are a nice look too. Unpopular opinion, I like darker pants, which you'll see later in this list, but the Texas one is really boring, and it's not really getting it going for me. Number 22, St. Louis Cardinals. I want to like the St. Louis one. I want to like the Cardinals one more because it looks good, and all their stuff looks good. I mean, the Cardinals have a classy look. It's been around for a long time. People love it. I've heard people say that they have the best jersey in baseball, and I don't think that's a bad take. I think it's a pretty solid take. But they put the Lou on the jersey, which Lou, if you're listening to this in Britain, shout out to you if you're listening from Great Britain, you know that means the bathroom. It is slang for the bathroom in Britain, and it's as cool as it looks. You have to dock a lot of points, unfortunately, because in Europe, in Britain, it's a face with a toilet, so it's not. Unfortunately, that is what takes away from this jersey. But other than that, it looks nice. The red is a really nice color. The STL on the hat is a little bit of a tougher sell, but it looks good. But unfortunately, you just used the wrong phrase on the jersey, so that's what puts it lower on the list. Number 21, I with the Detroit Tigers. They did Motor City because obviously the motor and car industry is really a big thing in Detroit, and they were good enough to lean into that. It's apparently I think the jersey had a pattern of tire marks on there, which is pretty cool and unique. The hat was really interesting, seeing Detroit on there. Not a big fan of when the whole word is on the hat. I feel like you got to have a designated logo for something like that. But the Detroit one is not bad. It says Motor City across front. I mean, it's got some multiple shades of blue, but again, it's one that's kind of boring and it's not very exciting. But then again, I have one that looks boring objectively in my top 10, but that's for my own purposes. The Detroit one, I think, is solid. I mean, it's fine, it's good, but we're starting to get into a region where it's not terrible, or it's not lowly. I think the Detroit one's okay, but in the grand scheme of City Connects, I don't think it was that great. Number 20, the New York Mets. I know our partner DL Studios for graphics is a New York Mets fan. And their City Connect leans into the concrete jungle of New York, and they also included some purple with the 7 line because apparently that's a train line that runs to Citi Field, which is pretty cool. The New York Mets one, it's so gray and boring. I don't think it looks that bad. I personally did not have too many grudges against it. But yeah, it's just the aim to go for the concrete jungle does not create a pleasing visual for the average person. Again, I don't think it's terrible. I think it's okay in the grand scheme of things, but definitely with too much gray. I think they probably should have included more purple, but that's unfortunate that was kind of a missed opportunity. Number 19, this is going to be an unpopular take, but the San Diego Padres. I'm sorry, I can't buy into the San Diego Padres. Apparently, it has neon colors. It's got the hot pink and teal and a little bit of yellow in there too. I know that's a fan favorite. That's a very popular City Connect jersey. But personally, I'm not a big fan of the Padres one. It's just me. I'm not a big fan of the brighter color. I mean, the brighter colors look good, but it's just, it doesn't do it for me personally. And I'm sorry, but that's just my personal opinion. Number 18, Minnesota Twins. The Twins one has to do with the rivers, and apparently, Minnesota's a big fishing industry, and it's got a lot of rivers and bodies of water. It's apparently that's a whole thing, and they have the North Star on there as well. It's a very interesting visual. Obviously, it's got a very flowy and watery pattern on the jersey itself. It definitely pops. It's bright. It's a bright blue. But again, it's not totally there, the concept. So for me, it does have to go closer to the bottom of my list than the top. We are getting kind of close to the top. Number 17. This might be another unpopular opinion. Boston Red Sox. I think the Boston Red Sox is tough. Is because it's arguably one of the most different jerseys from what they already wear. The Boston Red Sox have a classic look. I don't really think they should have diverted from that, but they did, and they went with the Boston Marathon type idea. They did the whole yellow jersey with the powder blue. It's just, it's really polarizing for me. Some days I'll like it a little bit more than others, but I don't know. The Red Sox, I'm not totally sold, just because it's if you had to guess what team it is, it's very difficult to do that. I feel like a lot of these jerseys stuck with the team colors, and I haven't really mentioned that element, and that's something I appreciate. The Phillies did not do that. Rockies didn't really do that, but Red Sox, they just went such a different route, and while I do appreciate that, I think diverting that far from the classic look of the Red Sox was very bold, and I don't think it needed to be made. I understand the Boston Marathon is a very popular thing up there, and that's part of Boston, the city. But there's a lot of American Revolution type stuff, and I think maybe it could just be a personal bias because I love the American Revolution and studying American history. But you could have leaned into that a little bit more. Like that, I feel like is a staple up in Boston and just in Massachusetts in general. It's really where the Revolution started. So I feel like there was a world where the Red Sox could have leaned into that and they could have stuck more of their mainstream colors, but they didn't do that. They went with the Boston Marathon, and that's fine, but not my personal favorite. Cincinnati Reds come in at number 16. This one it's another one that's highly regarded, but again, me personally, not as big of a fan. It's very tough to read. Cincinnati is in black, and it's got a red outline in the front of the jersey. It is a very bad guy look though, which is really cool, I think, and I think it's not that bad. I mean, it's good, but it can be tough to read at points. And I think if Cincy, they have Cincy across the chest on those. I think if Cincy across the chest was in red, I think that would have been a million times better. But they went with the all black look. It kind of has that villain type aura to it, especially with Ellie De La Cruz wearing it. So it kind of looks good in that aspect. But overall, I think it's again a very monochromatic look. It's kind of similar to the Mets problem, except this one looks a little bit better and it's got a little bit more vibrance to it. But yeah, Cincinnati Reds, number 16. Number 15, Toronto Blue Jays. I think the Toronto Blue Jays one is actually not that bad. No, I don't like the Blue Jays as a team. Their City Connect came out. It's kind of like a skyline jersey. It's got some red in there. It's a darker jersey. It's got the Toronto skyline, which is really cool. It looks cool. The hat was a nice hat as well. I think Toronto didn't do that bad of a job. A lot of these have the problem of just not a lot of vibrance. And Blue Jays, well, they do have a hint of vibrance across the front. There's still not a ton of it. I don't think it's that bad. So, shout out to the Blue Jays. It's actually kind of good. And there was also a cool photo of Vlad Jr. Standing in front of the Space Needle, and he was wearing that jersey, and it had some perfect lighting, and it was unbelievable photo. But Toronto Blue Jays coming in right around the middle of the pack. Number 14, Tampa Bay Rays. I think the Tampa Bay Rays one is fun. I mean, they got the Tampa Bay thing kind of flames in the jersey, and they got some vibrant colors in there as well. They had a really cool logo of the Tampa Bay Ray, and they made a really cool Tampa Bay Ray. I think the animal logo for the City Connect, but they actually had a logo of that Tampa Bay Ray design for these City Connects on a skateboard, which was elite. And this is another team that I don't like. I don't like the Tampa Bay Rays, but hats off on their City Connects. I didn't think they were that bad, and they're pretty solid. I mean, I can't really deny that. It is a very Tampa Bay-esque look. So I'm going to put Tampa Bay kind of in the upper half. Number 13, Cleveland Guardians. I actually saw these recently because the Orioles were in Cleveland and I was watching those games. And Cleveland wore these on Friday and Saturday. I thought these looked kind of good. I mean, I know the font's really boring with just the CLE. It's kind of a blocky font. But it's a jersey you could tell is a Cleveland jersey. And I think the hat is a really good hat as well. I think it's pretty solid. I mean, it kind of had a font of the Guardians of Traffic, which is what they're named for, and that's apparently a big thing in Cleveland, and that's why they chose the Guardian name. I don't think they did that bad of a job, and while it is kind of boring in some aspects, it does look nice. I think with colors and it pops, and we got the overall darker blue, and you got a nice maroon color, a cream color. I think it looks decent enough. Number 12 is the Atlanta Braves. I think the Braves one is honestly just a really good jersey, but I did have to dock points from them because they literally made something that we've seen before. We've seen a jersey with just Atlanta or Braves across front. I don't remember number, and it has the same sleeve style, same jersey style. So unfortunately, they didn't really go a new route, which I think they should have done. But I can still appreciate sticking to your guns. I mean, that's something that works, and it looks really good, and people love it. I mean, people love the old school Braves, and it certainly looks like a good jersey. I mean, they put the A on the upper left corner It's a nice look. I mean, it's a classic look. There's a reason it's been around for so long, and there's a reason it's still around in the game today as an alternate jersey for the Braves. So they're going to be coming in at number 12. Number 11 is going to be the Chicago Cubs. So I was actually just in Chicago, so I got to really experience their City Connects, both White Sox and Cubs, in person, just being in Chicago for a pretty decent stretch of time. I also went to Milwaukee, so I'll be able to touch Milwaukee a little bit too. Chicago Cubs, I thought, I think the Wrigleyville tie-in, now that I've experienced, really does make sense because I went to Wrigley, and Wrigley is an iconic stadium. The Cubs, I mean, I can totally see why I went with Wrigleyville because you go to a Cubs game, it really is its own mini town around the stadium. Like, Wrigleyville is a real thing. It is very chaotic, and I certainly had to get used to that, but it really is its own, like, village. You could go there and hang out even if you're not trying to, go to a game. Like, it really just is its own echelon, and I think that was a really nice lean in to Chicago. They did the neighborhood thing as well. I also have, my mom has a friend who's from Chicago, shout out to him, and the neighborhood thing is also a big part of Chicago. I don't know as much about that, but I still understand. I still think that it's a pretty significant part of Chicago in the neighborhoods, and I think there are like 77 of them. So, shout out Chicago. Love Chicago as a city, and I like the Cubs City Connect. Number 10 is going to be the Baltimore Orioles, and I know there's a lot of bias in here, but I like the Orioles City Connect. I bought it. I was in Baltimore the weekend that they were released. I went to this event at the Pagoda. It's in Baltimore. It's like this little park. It was a whole City Connect, kind of like party or something. And it was really cool. I got a picture with Gunnar Henderson and Cedric Mullins. Shout out to that. I got my jersey from there. I don't think this jersey's half bad. I mean, I understand that it's really boring, and I would understand if someone wanted to put it lower on the list, but there's some personal bias in here. But I also think that it's still a good jersey. I mean, you have a nice little feature if you get to roll up the sleeves, which I think is one of one. And I know people can criticize the fact that there's a colorful design inside the jersey rather than outside, but you just gotta roll up the sleeves, and it's like right along the lining of the sleeves and the collar. I think it's a nice touch for the neighborhoods of Baltimore. I thought there would have been a bigger time than just like the whole neighborhood thing and all that. The hat looks great as well. I've always thought that. I really like that Baltimore bee, and I own that hat as well. Wear it every day, but the Baltimore Orioles, I don't think did that bad of a job, and just for my personal sanity, I had to put them in my top 10. I would understand if you want to put them lower on your list, but for me, I like it. I own it. It's a nice jersey, and they're going to be my number 10. Number 9 is going to be the Milwaukee Brewers. Milwaukee Brewers went with the powder blue. They went with the Brew Crew, which is a really nice tie-in. I was in Milwaukee for, I think, 2 nights or right around there, 2 nights. I think the Brewers tie-in was really cool. Obviously, it's a big beer industry up there, and that's its own thing. Like, you got Bernie Brewer. He saw him go down the slide, and that's fun. I think it's not. I mean, the MKE on the hat is a tougher sell. I know I have an MKE magnet, but just looking at it on the hat, like, again, I need something that's more streamlined on a hat rather than like a whole word or a whole phrase. But I still think the Brewers did a fantastic job. I'm a sucker for a powder blue, and you can certainly see that with my evaluation here. Number 8 is going to be the Los Angeles Angels for me. I think the Angels one's really nice. I'm a big beach fan. I've never been to LA, but I love the beach, and they did a beach tie-in. Kind of did like a surfboard vibe, and they did the sand color for the sand on the beaches in LA, the south side of LA, or sunny, SoCal, Southern California vibes. I think it was nice. It looks great. I mean, the hat was great as well. It makes total sense with the Angels. That I think that one is really nice, and the stripe on the sleeve. So when I mentioned the surfboard, is because of it had like a surfboard-esque stripe, which is pretty cool. So I really like the Angels one personally. A nice cream jersey, and they're going to be number 8. Number 7, Kansas City Royals. I really like the Kansas City Royals City Connect. I love the fountain tie-in. Obviously, in Kansas City, or I guess Kansas City is a city of fountains, or they have I know they have fountains at Kauffman Stadium, but I thought it looks really cool. I mean, I like the stringy look and kind of the fountain flow look. It looks just great, and it's got a nice touch of powder blue, and it's kind of similar to the Chicago Cubs, I feel like, because it's like a navy blue jersey with powder blue touches, but I think Kansas City has a fantastic one, and the hat is great as well. Number 6 is going to be the Chicago White Sox, the South Side. I mean, that's as good of a tie-in as you can have. I mean, the White Sox are literally on the South Side of Chicago, and they kind of have like a gangster vibe in there, and I know that they had a home run celebration like that, but I think the South Side look is really good. I totally get it with the Chicago White Sox, and it looks great. I mean, they have like a jumpsuit look, all black, and it's got the nice pinstripes. Just a tough looking jersey, and it looked way better when the White Sox were good. Unfortunately, they're horrible now, but back when they had like a Tim Anderson or when Yohan Moncada was swinging it pretty well, those guys made it look good. They made it look swaggy. So, Chicago White Sox certainly a good look on them. Number 5, Washington Nationals. Shout out the Nationals. I know I have plenty of Nationals friends. I think the Nationals one's great. I would buy it myself. They got the WSH across the front for Washington. You have the cherry blossoms, which, again, makes total sense for me. I've seen this up close in person because I'm practically living in D.C., even though I'm an Orioles fan. I'm right on the border of D.C. and Silver Spring in Maryland. They get the cherry blossoms on the jersey. And seeing the cherry blossoms in person, I have been down to D.C. kind of in the springtime for over spring break, which is pretty cool. The cherry blossoms are beautiful, and I think that was a really nice tie-in. And the hat looks good as well. You got a nice W. You got, just the cherry blossom touch, I think, was fantastic, because that is a massive part of Washington. I mean, obviously you got the monuments and all that, but I don't know how you really make the monuments a part of a jersey, like the Lincoln Memorial, Jefferson Memorial, Washington Monument, all that good stuff. I think the cherry blossoms was a really good secondary route to go. So, shout out the cherry blossoms. Washington Nationals, sad that that's not coming back next year. It's going to be too bad. Number 4 is going to be the Miami Marlins. The Sugar Kings jersey is so damn good. I mean, you got the Miami. It pops. You got some beautiful pinstripes on the jersey. I mean, it literally just pops, and it looks so good. It's just everything about it is perfect. The helmet was beautiful as well. It's a powder blue helmet. It's like a Sugar Kings tie-in, and apparently that's a big industry in Miami. Nice tie-in, great look. It looks fantastic. It just pops, and it's so vibrant, which, Miami is certainly a vibrant place to be. So Miami coming in at number 4. And then at number 3, we have the Seattle Mariners. I personally love the Seattle Mariners, and this may be an unpopular opinion because nobody really liked them. I liked the Black Pants when they came out. I think they had a Seattle Pilots tie-in, which was really cool. They have a nice hat as well with the trident being the M. That was a great look back in the day. It was kind of a tie-in to more of an old school Mariners, and old school, new school mashing up. Excuse me. I think was a fantastic idea, and it looked unbelievable. I mean, the jersey is so clean with the gold and like a perfect shade of blue. It's just, it doesn't get much better than that, folks, which is clear because it's a number 3. Number 2 is going to be the Arizona Diamondbacks. I think the Diamondbacks did an unbelievable job. They went with the Serpientes. That one's a true sand color. They leaned in the desert. Serpientes obviously being snake in Spanish. Unbelievable job of the Diamondbacks. The hat looks cool too. Lighter colored hats are a little bit of a tougher sell for me, but they certainly did a fantastic job there. It's just unbelievable all the way around. It's perfect. It looks so good. I'm in love. I'm in love with it personally. So shout out the Arizona Diamondbacks. Kind of my 1B. It's just, it makes me melt every single time. It is beautiful. and you got the nice sand-colored pants as well. And then my number one City Connect out of all the City Connects, excluding the Yankees and A's, because they have not gotten one yet. My number one City Connect is the Houston Astros. I will go into full explanation because I have evaluated before for the best City Connect. This is just, I made a full list. Houston Astros are coming in at number one. The tie-in makes sense because Houston is where NASA is, and they did all the Apollo stuff and rocket launching and all that. Really cool. The tie-in makes total sense, and that's why Space City is across the front of the jersey, which is fantastic. You could tell the jersey is a Houston jersey because it sticks to the Houston colors. It has the navy blue, it has the orange, so you can automatically tell, hey, this is probably a Houston Astros jersey, which is, I think, a pretty important element. And then, just, and the look of it is great as well. It has like a cool pattern on it for NASA or something. I don't fully remember, but the hat looks great as well with a nice orbit around the H. I mean, hats off to Houston. I think it's perfect. I think it's beautiful. It is just everything that you want in a jersey in the City Connect. You can still distinguish the team. You can still tell that it's the Astros. And the tie-in makes all the sense in the world. So the Houston Astros are coming in at my number one spot, and that is my full list. So thank you guys so much for listening to my City Connect rankings. I hope you guys enjoyed. We will have Brendan back very soon from his travels. He's been traveling a lot, and he's got to do a baseball tournament. We'll get to see each other in person, so hopefully we'll get you guys a in-person episode with a cool guest. And I think I'll have a guest on pretty soon of my own. And it'll actually be our graphic guy, DL Studios. Shout out to him, our official business partner. He will be on the show to talk some ball. And everything you need is in the description. Merchandise, social medias, we're on Instagram, X. You can get me on Facebook. I put Facebook updates on there as well. Maybe I'll try and create our own business page for Facebook. But we got plenty of social media for you guys to find us on. Go check out the merchandise. Maybe I'll get some new stuff up. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But you can pick yourself up a shirt, a couple other cool stuff on our site as well. So with that, we will see you next time.